Hey guys, so this is my first just Patreon video, so just for YouTube. My name is Patty. I go by Patty Phantasma when I'm doing my art stuff, mostly modeling and indie film. I also have an Etsy, but there's hardly anything on it right now. It's Poet and Muse Creations. I go by Patty Phantasma because I like the idea of keeping my art personality and my just everyday persona separate, just to kind of give me more leeway and freedom to just be an artist and do whatever. And I also just really like the idea of the name Phantasma. I really loved the song Happy Phantom when I was younger, by Tori Amos. If you've ever heard of it, if you haven't heard it, you should listen to it. It's a great song. I'm not gonna sing it right now because it's super late at night. I also just like the definition of phantasma, which is the Latin origin for the word phantom, and that means a ghost, a phantom who haunts lonely roads. The synonyms are ghost, apparition, spirit, specter, wraith, shadow, more a figment of the imagination. And that's the part that really got me. I'm a little spooky and kooky, and I like the idea of being a figment of the imagination from a creative standpoint. So I'm an alternative model, and sometimes indie actress and film enthusiast, and I go by the name Patty Phantasma for work. For modeling, I started modeling years ago, because I just love to create images. I was originally a photography major as an undergrad, but I didn't think I had the chops to cut it as a professional photographer. Also, the kind of photography I like to do, for me personally, I like to do nature photography and animal photography, and I don't like working with people because I'm kind of introverted. So I can make images as a model that I wouldn't be able to make as a photographer. So anyway, I can go back into all why I changed majors and dropped out of school and all that stuff, and I'll do that in a different video because that's a really long ass story. Sorry, I cuss like a sailor. I'm sorry. So the point is, even while I was studying photography, even before I was studying photography, I wanted to be an alt model. If any of you are old enough, you might remember LiveJournal. I had one in high school. And basically, if you're not old enough to understand what a LiveJournal was, it's basically what it sounds like. It's a journal. It's like take a journal and cross it with Facebook or Instagram, but make it anonymous. So, alright, I used to follow this girl on LiveJournal, and she used to make these really awesome, goth hair pieces and stuff, extensions that you could put in your hair. And she was also an alt model, and I was just like, oh, I would love to do that. That's so awesome, but I don't have the kind of money for the clothes and the hair and the that and the this and the whatever. Anyway, so I never did it. And then I got older. When I say older, I mean early to mid 20s. I decided, fuck it, I'm going to try it. So I did. I started with TF, which means time for. And I still do TF shoots. I don't do a lot of TF shoots when it has to do with nudity and stuff, because I mean, if it's something that involves either nudity or just a lot of work on my part, it's not really worth it to do. I'm not even going to go into the TF thing. That's totally another video. But anyway, so I still do TF shoots sometimes, especially, and I do nudes, but I prefer, I'm not, nudes are not my preferred thing that I do. I just like to do artsy, fartsy stuff. I like to do things that have a message, that have a meaning, that, make you think. I love, alt model stuff. I follow Twisted Angels and stuff like that on Instagram, and I would love to be on that. I don't have enough tattoos, I don't think, mainly because I'm usually broke. I used to have more piercings, but my body decided they didn't like them, so I have my nose pierced and my ears pierced a few times, but I used to have microdermals. My body rejected them. I would like to get more tattoos. I actually have ideas for multiple areas of my body, and I can go into that in a different video as well. I just haven't had the money, and now we're going through a pandemic, so I can't do that anyway. Well, anyways, where was I going? I'm reading my notes. I also do body canvassing. I typically go to events in my local area with body painting people, body painting artists, and I canvas for them. So I've done that I think 3 or 4 times, and it was really fun, and I enjoy doing that because I just like being part of art. So I've done that. I also did it, I used to live in Houston, and I did it in Houston a few times. I did it just for art, as a fine art body painting model photography thing. And then I also did it for a film when I was actually playing the villain. I was playing a monster. This glare is driving me crazy. I was playing a monster, and so I was covered from head to toe in body paint and latex appliances and all sorts of cool stuff. So anyway, so I did that. So I've been a monster on film, I've been an assassin, I've been a waitress, I've been just a normal-ish person. I've also gotten hit in the face with chunky blood, which I helped make. That's actually something I love to do. I love to work behind the scenes, and one of the really fun things I got to do was make chunky blood one day for a short film competition that I was in. I think we did win Best Splatter that year. Anyways, fudge. Okay, so what else about me? Well, as you likely guessed from my former major, I love art. I was also a music major for a little while, but I had some drama with my crazy ex-girlfriend and not being able to afford to go to school anymore because drama. So, but I'm a mezzo-soprano and I love to sing in ensembles. And I would love to do that again. I auditioned last year and I didn't get in for a singing group in my area, and it's because I am super out of practice when it comes to sight singing, and I bombed at it. I got the solo part right, and I got the other parts. It just, the sight singing, I sucked. So anyway, I didn't get in. Also, they weren't looking for that many altos at the time, so another thing I love to read, my favorite genre is urban fantasy, and my favorite authors will probably be Yasmin Gallnorn, Shannon McGuire, and Kim Harrison. I do love other authors as well, but those are 3 of my super favorites. I'm always oh, and Patricia Briggs. I love Patricia Briggs. Anyway, I have been a big Anne Rice fan ever since high school. I've read the Wolf-Gift series. I've read a good portion of the Vampire Chronicles, but I have not read all of them, so don't spoil them for me. I stopped reading partway through Merrick because I got this really bad feeling that something bad was going to happen to Louis, and he's my favorite character. So, I just couldn't emotionally handle it. But I'm going to read it. I'm probably going to read it this year. I would like to read at least that, if not finish the whole Chronicles this year, which for me is not that hard. Probably could do that. I'm just scared that something horrible is going to happen to Louis. Okay. That's a whole nother... This is every little thing I'm talking about is something that could be another video. Alright, so I am originally from the Chicagoland area. My mom's side of the family they emigrated to the Chicagoland area. My dad's side of the family is Mexican American and from Texas. Since before Texas was even part of the United States, since like Texas was part of Mexico, my brother actually did like the ancestry thing, went on one of those tests, and we're actually related to the indigenous people of Texas. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, I'm Mexican American on my dad's side. I abhor racism, and I'm also really self-conscious about the fact that my Spanish sucks. What's another thing? Okay, so I've had a ton of different jobs. I used to work in special needs as an aide and also in therapeutic recreation. But when I moved to Texas, I started working a lot in service positions, and I have worked in food service quite a lot. I'm working in food service right now. I think I am a people pleaser, and I just like to feed people. Let's see. I'm a vegan, but I'm not one of those annoying, pushy vegans that are like, go vegan. Okay, yeah. If you want to go vegan and you have like questions or something about like, hey, what's vegan and what isn't, or hey, do you have a good recipe or something? Yeah, I'm your girl. But I'm not the person that's gonna like lecture you about shit because I don't tell people what to do with their lives. So what did I say? Oh, okay, alright. So I'm a very like to each their own kind of a person. And I had a mentor who told me like do what do what you can. Like I was fretting about like veganism and about like, oh, what can I do and what can't I do and all that stuff. Like, and she said, do what you can. And I kind of translated that into like, do what you can in your life to make the world a better place. And not everybody can do these same things. Some people do different things. So veganism is just kind of part of my thing. But it's not part of everybody's thing. You know, it's not my business to tell you what to do. It sort of ties into my faith. I'm pagan. I identify as a witch. But I'm very much just like a solitary practitioner, and I'm kind of just like hodgepodge all over the place. I'm not like an expert on anything. I was actually hoping to go to this really fun pagan event for Ostara, and then I couldn't go because social distancing happened. But hopefully I can go to something like that in the future. But at the end of the day, I'm very much just like whatever floats your boat, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody and don't push your beliefs in other type of a person, just like with veganism. So for me, like, just be a good person. As within, so without, as above, so below is basically like the philosophy that I follow. So just, you know, do good things, do good works. This is kind of my thing. Whatever. Anyway, I have an altar. Ooh, my lighting went all weird because my laptop turned off. Okay, so what else? Yeah, I'll probably talk about paganism in the future and astrology and all that stuff because I'm just kind of into it, and I suck at tarot and I'm trying to learn. And alright, so I'm a mental health advocate. I will talk about mental health and my experiences with mental illness at some point, probably, because it's a huge part of my life. I've been battling, and I finally seem to be on the winning side for the past 6 months with an eating disorder since I was in high school. I am at my ideal body weight, I guess, right now. I'm never going to talk about numbers because that is not healthy. I won't do it. I'm not gonna feed into that. No pun intended. Feed into that whole thing about numbers and comparing. Eating disorder people do that enough. We don't need that. So, but to go along with that, I also have OCD. A lot of people who have eating disorders have comorbid conditions, and a lot of the times they have OCD because it's an OC spectrum disorder, which means it's on the spectrum of OCD. And when I say I have OCD, I don't mean like, oh my god, I'm so OCD because I have to have my silverware put this just this right way, or I have to fold my socks just right. No, I literally have obsessive compulsive disorder. It affects my daily life. It's not funny. It, yeah. So I have OCD. I have major depression. I have anxiety. I take medications. I have other stuff. I don't want to talk about it, but um, it's it's a part of me. It's like I have brown eyes. I'm right-handed. I have mental illness. It's just part of who I am. And as I've gotten older, I've learned to kind of figure out how that works and how to incorporate my life to make it work. And I do take medications and I see a therapist and it helps. So I'm not an expert. Do not ask me mental health advice, please. I can't help. But I do understand the importance of advocacy and visibility of mental illness. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So this is getting really long, so I'm going to wrap up and see what else, other things I love. I love animals. You probably already know since I'm vegan, but I love cats. You probably already saw because I think I showed you Phoebe. Did I show you Phoebe? Anyway, my cat's sleeping over there. I love animals, especially cats. I prefer scary movies. I love ghost movies the most. Like, actually, it's one of my favorite movies in general. It's just like ghosty movies. Let's see what else. I love fantasy, yes, you know. I love rainbows. I am queer as fuck. I don't ascribe to a specific, like, title. I've kind of gone back and forth between a lot of different things, so I'm just like, oh, fuck it, I'm queer. I don't really like anything specific. I think if you had to specify me, I'd be pansexual, but closer to homosexual, but still pansexual, and on the ace spectrum. So it's complicated, that's why I just say I'm queer. I am cisgendered, but I have a lot of trans friends, so I'm very, like, trans inclusive. I try to be very trans inclusive, because I have a lot of dear friends who are trans. What else? I am an introvert. My favorite color is blue, in case you couldn't tell. I also really like black, silver. I like cool colors. I have tattoos and piercings. I think I've mentioned that already. Although not nearly as many as I'd like. So why I decided to make videos, I've been watching YouTube for decades. I started watching the Vlogbrothers when they were still kind of new. I had Hank's like album, with the song about anglerfish. I had that album. I had that album. I still have it on my iPhone, I think. I'll have to do a video where I talk about like the different YouTubers and stuff that I watch. I know. Let's see. There's not. I've gotten kind of behind in watching YouTube videos, but I do really like Ari Fitz. I really like Ari Fitz, and I like Katie Morton. I think I like Ari Fitz because I find Ari to be like very relatable, and I enjoy their content just like in general. Just it's fun and it's interesting and it's relatable for me. For my plans for the future with regards to this sort of thing, immediately I would like to start vlogging and experimenting with what I can create content-wise during the pandemic, because right now I'm bored as hell because I usually do photo shoots and I can't. So they've all been put on hold for safety reasons. On my list for must-haves as far as purchasing in the near future, and I'm broke as F, so who knows when this is going to happen, but I need to get a better camera phone, because this is a camera, this is an iPhone 6 that is kind of splitting down the middle right down there, and it doesn't work that great, so I really need a new phone. I also wanted to get this cool tripod I found with a light. I'd like to get better set dressings because I don't really have a set and I have a very small space to work in, so I'd like it to at least look nice. And eventually I'd like to get a good mic too. My future plans would be to get my own place. Right now I'm staying with family. So I mentioned something about Crazy Ex before. I had a really bad breakup a few years ago, and I basically had to hightail it out of Houston and get the fuck out of there and move back in with my family hundreds of miles away. And I'm still kind of figuring things out. I don't have my own place yet, so that's like into the future stuff that I want to do. So cross your fingers for me. Or you could subscribe to my Patreon, or possibly, and here's another thing I was going to talk about, is Patreon versus OnlyFans. Okay, I've had a Patreon for a while, but I only have like 2 patrons. I love my patrons. I know them both personally. They're cool people, but I think OnlyFans might be a better platform. It just seems like, my impression is that it's more interactive. And I'd like to do live video for OnlyFans if that's interactive, and like, especially since there's like social distancing and stuff. I think OnlyFans might be better. It'll be allow me to create more like casual content, because like I don't really have like professional shoots that I can put up right now. And maybe like reach a larger audience. So if I do that, I would love it if you guys would, subscribe. And I will put the information down if I do it. I guess that kind of wraps it up. That's me in a nutshell. I'm Patty. I'm weird. I'm a dork. I have blue hair. I love cats. I love art. I do modeling. My makeup is terrible right now. And, so if you like this video, or you think, hey, this girl could be interesting, you never know, whatever, like, subscribe, that'd be awesome. And hopefully my next video will be higher quality. And I'll see you soon. Stay safe.